Could you start by introducing yourself as well and let us know a little bit about you?
My name's Aileen Wallace. I'm a modern studies teacher up at Graeme High School in Falkirk. I've been teaching since about 2005. I'm a co-founder. Yeah, it's 20 years this year now.
Wow, congrats!
I know, it feels a bit like.
Yeah.
Co-founder of the Edge Guardians and an ambassador for Curipod, School AI and Quizzes, who are here today.
Brilliant. Well, thank you. It's really lovely to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're kind of talking today about your journey because you were kind of more of a tech skeptic, but now you're kind of like a real advocate for it, especially like things like AI as well. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey and how it happened?
My council brought out iPads for all our students, and I thought it was just the biggest waste of money. Yeah. And my kids came in, I was like, right, iPads in bags, we don't use that stuff in here, just leave them in the bags. And in March 2023, the Apple RTC up in Falkirk did a staff training session, and at the very end of it, the guy had mentioned Curipod. And I thought, I'll have a look at it, and that was it. I was hooked, and from that point on, I started finding out more about what AI can do in the classroom. EdTech stuff like quizzes and Kahoot, they've been around for years. I had never heard of them, and I suddenly realised that this is what was missing in my teaching. I had told my headmistress I was going to leave. I had had enough of teaching. And to quote Jill Dubois over at Edu Badges, it brought the joy back. And I had joy in my classroom and the kids were enjoying themselves. And for me, AI is what schools need to be looking at now. It's not just changing schools, it's changing our life. Everything is going to be that. And if schools, part of our responsibility is to teach students about the future, if we don't take AI on, we're not doing our job. And it's hell of a fun.
Getting them to develop those future skills, isn't it? Yeah, and I think the thing is as well, we have to be aware of the fact that the kids are going to explore it anyway, so if we don't show them how to use it, then we're doing them disservice.
I've already got
unsafely,
you know? I mean, I've got a student that today said to me she set up a chatbot to be her own psychotherapist.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, okay, you and I need to have a talk about how AI works, because...
Well, the thing is that although obviously there's a lot of things it can do, like empathy is not really one of them. So that's a good point. So it's definitely good to have
definitely got to have a conversation with them about it.
So talk to me about, obviously on this journey, I'm imagining there have been some pitfalls, but we can learn from those. So what have been some of the things that have gone maybe a bit wrong, but actually you've learned from, the future?
From the very basics, I assumed the kids knew how to use their iPads. They don't. So they and I had to learn at the same time, which was actually quite good because we all taught each other.
That misconception of like digital natives, but it's not really. There's tech, they don't necessarily know how to use it.
They know how to swipe. They know how to They don't actually know how to use the tech, but we assume. So we've got to teach them that. So that was a big learning curve for me and for them. Wi-Fi issues. You plan a whole lesson and then the school Wi-Fi fails, and that's why, as I was talking to you about. Teachers like myself with 20 odd years under our belt, you've got the fallback of going, okay, no, we're going to move on to this today. And that wonderfully constructed lesson you had using all these app smashed things just out the window. The one that really got me was finding the local council blocking things. So you'd find about an amazing new platform that was coming out, you'd go to try it and the local network went, no, you can't use it. And the red tape to get through it. So you have to start to learn, is this actually going to benefit my lessons, or do I just want to play around with it? So dealing with technical issues in the classroom, dealing with students' knowledge of using it, and dealing with the council going, no, you're not using that. Those, for me, were the biggest challenges to overcome.
Yeah. What have been some of the successes, some of the things that have worked really well?
Being brave.
I love that though.
Making myself be brave and trying new stuff. Seeing engagement coming back into the lesson. I've got a student teacher with me at the moment, and he and I are teaching a Curipod lesson. My whole lesson on class is on Curipod. And he went, okay, I'll use it. And this week, a little lad in first year came barreling into the classroom, and I was about to do the whole teacher, there's no need to run, and he went, I didn't want to miss a second. Aww. And I thought, I can't shout at you for that. No, he was so desperate. And you see that coming out and you think, this is why I'm doing this. Because these kids are desperate to get in the class, they really want to learn. They come in the morning, now they don't know they're asking for retrieval practice, What they're shouting is, can we do a blicket? Can we do a quizzes? And you're like, yeah, but retrieval practice, here we go, let's slide this in. Or they come in going, are we doing voting today? Okay, we're going to do some critical thinking on why you voted for those answers. Those are the successes for me.
Yeah.
That kids are getting engaged in learning without realising they're doing it, and they're enjoying themselves and they're wanting to learn. And I'm having a blast.
Yeah, that sounds so fun. So really my last question then is, I guess, like, what first steps can someone take to become more of an advocate with AI technology?
Decide what it is you want to change in your classroom and find something that does it for you. I say that I've got JOMO, joy of missing out. I'm not going to do everything. Here at BET, there's some amazing stuff, and I'm going, I want to do that. You can't do all of it. Choose one thing, do it well, and then when you're confident with it, decide where you want to move on to next.
That's really good advice.
And find your people. Find a group of people, whether they're online, like the PLN Edge Guardian folks. Yeah. There's an amazing group of people all over the world that you can put a question out and somebody will answer you. Here at BET, I've been bumping into people that I've met on LinkedIn that have helped me out and I've answered. So and don't be afraid to reach out to people. I am not a techie person. I am a modern studies person. I can't even do a spreadsheet. But don't be afraid to reach out to somebody and say, I'm trying to do this, I'm really stuck. Even the students, reach out to your students. I was complaining to a class that we had too many adverts in a news article we were looking at. And one of my lads just went, if you do that and that, miss, you get, and I was like, oh my, wow. You don't know who you're going to learn from. It could be your students, it could be somebody you meet online. Ask, and if people offer it, take the help. Take the help.
Brilliant. Well, thank you. That was amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.